Yeah, I think he's a big Quidditch fan. He's a big fan of the Chudley Cannons, a sort of big team in the Wizards world, and I think he's always sort of fancied himself as a good player. And yeah, sort of he does try his best, but he's not really sort of naturally that really sort of good in the air. So he sort of somehow gets through the tryouts, and sort of Harry picks him. But yeah, it was Quidditch actually. I was really looking forward to Quidditch actually because. I've always wanted to do it because sort of it looks really fun because you're sitting on this broom and it's like on this little sort of electronic thing and you sort of do this ride. So it's always looked really good, but it's actually quite painful.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Like how?
I don't know, because you can imagine you actually sitting on a broom sort of a long time, and sort of it does get a little bit sore. But no, it was really it's going to look really cool. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, I mean, I did a bit of sort of trampoline work before we went on it, which was actually quite helpful because it sort of was sort of jumping in the air with a broom, and it sort of does sort of feel like you're flying in a way, so it's quite good.
Yeah, this is Gryffindor common room. There's all the banners from the Quidditch match, which has been a large part of this film. We do a lot of Quidditch in this one, and we've just won the World Cup. I mean the school cup, and there's a really good scene. The best scene I think in here is when everyone's kind of cheering for Ron, and because he's just been an amazing kind of goalkeeper, which everyone knew that he kind of thought he wouldn't do. So I think just typical relaxing, kind of doing work, and it's always quite a nice atmosphere in here, really warm.
E a Diagonali c'è una novità coloratissima come quella che vedete alle mie spalle, un negozio molto particolare gestito da due personaggi che già conosciamo molto bene e che adesso andremo insieme a conoscere. Siamo in uno dei set più nuovi e più interessanti di Harry Potter e il Principe Mezzosangue, pieno di oggetti particolarissimi come quelli che vedete, come questa pozione dell'amore per esempio, come che sono qui intorno. Nell'ultimo film di Harry Potter abbiamo visto come Fred e George, i fratelli di Ron, si fossero messi in una situazione molto particolare che avrebbe reso complesso per loro continuare gli studi a Hogwarts in maniera tradizionale. Quindi che cosa hanno deciso di fare? Sfruttando la loro passione che unisce la magia agli scherzi e all'umorismo, hanno aperto un negozio, questo negozio che si chiama Tiriwhisky Weasley, un negozio appunto pieno di tanti piccoli accessori che possono rendere la vita dei maghi, e non solo, decisamente più divertenti e più dinamici. Questo è stato uno dei set più impegnativi per quanto riguarda la produzione, che ci ha fornito anche dei dati molto interessanti. L'intero set si sviluppa su 3 piani, tutti e 3 piani sono completamente accessibili. Oltre 6.800 sono le etichette dei vari prodotti che voi vedete esposti nel negozio. Centinaia di litri di silicone sono stati utilizzati per creare diversi oggetti, come ad esempio quest'altro che state vedendo. Ecco, veramente uno sforzo produttivo imponente per un set coloratissimo e molto divertente. E qui siamo nella parte più oscura di Diagon Alley, la strada del mercato magico di questo posto, ed ecco, popolata da personaggi veramente molto particolari, come avete visto.
Draco really evolves, I think, from a child into an adult throughout this journey. He has there's quite a few key scenes. It's nice. Harry and Draco get a chance to confront each other, sort of heads first, if you will. So that's been a clash for the last 6 years, building up, waiting to happen, which was nice. And a lot of stuff, because his dad's been taken away in this film, so a lot of stuff revolving around that, and the fact that he's the man of the family now. So a lot of responsibility lies on his shoulders, I think. Yes, definitely. Well, before I think he was quite childish and quite naive and quite two-dimensional in many ways, and he's certainly doesn't have the opportunity to do that now. He's not bickering with Harry how he was in previous years. He certainly upped his game, I think. Well, this is a reference to an initiation, if you will, to the adults of the dark world, because my dad's been taken away. this is my sort of becoming of man, if you will. We're the coming of age celebration, if you will. So this is why he is back at Borgen and Burns.
Desperately tricky to make, disastrous should you get it wrong. One sip and you will find that all of your endeavours succeed. At least until the effects wear off.
E siamo nel cortile, nel bellissimo, vastissimo cortile interno della scuola di Hogwarts, del castello di Hogwarts. Quello stesso cortile che più volte abbiamo visto al cinema e nel quale gli studenti della scuola di magia passano il loro tempo libero, momenti felici, momenti tristi, momenti di scontro e tanti altri ancora. I protagonisti ovviamente li abbiamo visti più volte, abbiamo visto Harry, abbiamo visto Ron, abbiamo visto Hermione, ma ovviamente loro non sono gli unici studenti, ecco, ce ne sono tantissimi altri, proprio come loro che sono passati in questo momento. Tantissimi altri studenti vuol dire tantissime altre comparse e quindi scopriamo insieme che cosa vuol dire essere comparsa sul set di un film di Harry Potter.
We arrived at 7:45. We got changed into our costumes and I've never done anything like this, so it's a really great experience.
What we do is we come in and then we get thrown straight into our costume. We like have our breakfast, which is like either English breakfast or snacks. And then we go and have a bit of school time, which we do basic subjects. And then we go back and say get our cloaks on. And then we come to the cathedral and we do some filming. And then we have to have breaks in between. So that's how the day goes actually. It's like a really slow process. They take the film and then like they rehearse it loads and loads of times. And then they film it loads and loads of times. And then they'll do it at different angles so that they can see which angle looks best.
Now, what do you prefer, school or filming?
Filming by about 10 million miles.
And why?
Because you're not well, you are working, but it's more enjoyable, a lot. Because I don't know. Because you get to see loads of famous people.
I was going to ask, did you meet anyone? Did you ever talk to any of the cast at all?
Yeah, right. Well, I waved at Daniel Radcliffe, and then he goes.
Katie, how are you?
I know you're going to ask, Harry, but I don't know who cursed me. I've been trying to remember, honestly, but I just can't.
Yeah, you have all us grown-ups. You have Maggie Smith and Alan Rickman and Jim Broadbent, and we all sit in the great hall with 500 children in front of us, and so you become very aware of the power of being a master in a school like this. And then we're all doing our acting in the great hall, and the kids are watching us, and maybe they pick up tips from us how to do it. I don't know.
Well, I've never been so scared as I was standing opposite Alan Rickman, Michael Gambon, and Maggie Smith, and Jim Broadbent to go into the hospital scene together. It's just us five, and I was just standing opposite them, and I was shaking. I was so, because it was such a big deal, really. I mean, how weird, you know, a kind of circumstance that, and unbelievably kind of privileged to be in that position. It was just amazing. Yeah, definitely a working kind of, especially with Jim Broadbent, because I've had more kind of interaction with him, and it just, his eyes are enough to kind of give you the picture, the story he's telling. He's just phenomenal, really.
One thing that I've changed on this one is I prepared the previous film very, very carefully, and everything was very carefully measured and sort of anticipated. And with this story, I wanted for it to be lighter on its feet, for it to sort of feel a little bit more like it had a spring, and so we did more improvisation, and so kind of made a few things up. And